guys, welcome to the Pretty Much Sisters podcast, hosted by two Welshies connected by love, not blood. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Ava, and in today's episode we'll be discussing hospital dramas, birthday blues, and attempting a game of He's a 10, but to be honest, I'm not really sure if Hannah's going to understand the rules of the game, because we've actually had a bit of a drama trying to do it. So yeah, we had a little spat over the fact Hannah can't.
Can anyone tell me whether or not they've ever heard of this game? I've heard of the game, but I didn't know how to play it, basically.
No, she kept saying, "Oh, so I'll discuss it. I'll do it for myself." And then you just tell me what you think. No, babe, we're doing it for each other, and then you have to react to it. She's like, "Oh, so you're starting the sentence, and then I'm finishing." No, I'll do the full sentence, and then you'll react to it. So,
which I find really strange.
We might discuss therapy as well. So it's a bit of quite a full podcast today. But
yeah,
we're very prepared. We're very prepared this week.
I know.
I'm very excited.
I know, we're very prepared because we're actually doing episode 4 a week before it needs to come out.
Yeah. Do you want to start with obviously it was Hannah's birthday yesterday, so everyone say happy birthday.
Happy birthday to me.
Oh. So, do you want to start with how your birthday went? How was it?
It was good. Obviously, I dread to be honest, since 30, I sort of dreaded 30, and then since 30, I think I really dreaded 31 because I felt like, oh no, my 30s, like I'm in my 30s. And then this one, 32, it didn't feel so bad. And I was quite looking forward to my birthday. Like, I quite like to celebrate birthdays. Some people don't, do they? But I think maybe it's like a man thing compared to a woman. I don't know. But like, I like to celebrate my birthday, okay? And because I think we're here for another year at the end of the day. And I know that sounds a little bit
dramatic.
Yeah, but in the same essence, I think it should be celebrated that you're here for another year.
Yeah.
You're here to see and live another day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to celebrate my birthday.
Why?
I just find it like another day. And
bad.
I know it's very cynical, but I don't know, I've just never felt like, obviously when I was younger I was like, yeah, it's my birthday, but I've just since I think I hit 14 and I was like, oh, I can't be bothered. Obviously my 14th birthday was 14. My 14th birthday was in lockdown, so I didn't really celebrate it. And I just feel like, I don't know, I just don't really care about my birthday anymore, to be honest.
Oh, you shouldn't feel like that.
I know, because like I'm turning 18.
And now I'm like, it's your 18th, what are we doing for Ave? And I've got something booked like on the same day. But
yeah, she's like, oh, let's celebrate your birthday. And then to find out she has an event booked on my actual birthday, which I've taken the day off work for.
But can I just say that it is my event? Do you know what I mean? It's not like as if I'm going to an event, as in, I'm going to go and party. It is like I'm organising the event.
I didn't know
that Groove Month is my event. Do you know what I mean? With me, shout out to my partner. So anyway, I didn't do a lot, to be honest, yesterday. I find that birthdays in my family are very much like visiting everybody.
Oh, I can't think of anything worse.
Because although I did have a lovely morning with my nan, and yeah, but it's very much like a visiting day because everyone wants to see you on your birthday.
Yeah.
Or unless you go the night before and then you can sort of spend the day. But yeah, I'm lucky enough to be sort of flexible at the moment, so I can be, I could see everybody on my birthday. And that's sort of all I did. I just spent it with my nan, took the dog for a walk, went to see my friend.
And you went out for drinks with your mum, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, that was last Sunday. Yeah, I did go out for food and a drink with my mother last Sunday. And then I'm doing escape rooms and going out for some food with my friend on Saturday. So it's been quite a long birthday.
It's nice though. It's nice that you do celebrate it.
Yeah, and I think it's important too, just because, I just think, it's another year that you're here and you're walking the earth, so why not celebrate it? I know, like, people say, oh, every day should be, this is how you should feel every day, but no, I'm not like that. I like to celebrate my birthday. So yeah, but I don't know. I know we said like birthday blues, but I think like I sort of used to be more like that. Whereas going into 32 yesterday, like my dad actually said something. He was like, you know, how do you feel? And I was like, well, to be honest, I feel like 30s are going to be my best years of my life. But he said, you end up saying that for sort of every decade. But I don't think I said that about my 20s. And my 20s were very much learning about myself and sort of having fun. And then whereas now I feel like 30s are, yeah, let's do it. And, you know, let's build our empire.
Yeah.
So that's basically Ava's 18s.
Yeah. Been Ava since she was 16.
Yeah. So so I'm sort of looking forward to my 30s, and I feel like it's just less like pressure. Even though like it's more in terms of whether or not, you know, obviously I'm gonna end up being a mother and blah de blah, but like yeah, I'm trying to take that pressure off at the minute and just sort of focus on what's now, you know, working on that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm a dog mum anyway.
Yeah, I'm a dog. And I'm literally, yeah. I don't, and that's literally serving its purpose at the moment because she takes over my life. So, yeah, I'm a dog mum. So yeah, we got Ava's birthday next, which we'll talk about what we're gonna do. But yeah, 18 is a big one. So legal.
Although I do feel 45, so I just feel like it doesn't really affect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't feel the effects, but who knows? Maybe on my 18th birthday I'll wake up and be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But who knows? But
you've had a little bit of a traumatic week.
I have had a traumatic week. So obviously last week we discussed the fact that I had an emergency appointment for my eye.
Because Ava's eye pops out.
Ava's eye pops out of her head. I might insert a clip if I'm feeling generous to you guys. But basically I had my appointment and they said, oh, it's going to be an hour long. Anyway, I was in the hospital for around about 6 hours.
I think you should explain to everybody. Did you explain why?
Yeah, it was so I went to so they originally said like the optic nerve was swollen in my left eye. And then that's what Specsavers said. And then I went to my emergency appointment and basically it wasn't with neurology. It was with the emergency eye clinic in the Royal Gwent Hospital. If you've ever been, yeah, it's a bit of an experience.
Is it?
Yeah, it is an experience.
Like every hospital at the moment, to be honest.
Yes. So anyway, I ended up being there in the Royal Gwent for an hour. And they basically said, yeah, so they dilated my pupils. I will insert a picture of that because I look absolutely mad.
Oh, yeah.
I've got brown eyes. I can't see that. So I look like I have brown eyes. Yeah. Okay, I was going to say I look like I have brown eyes. But yeah, I did look like I was taking some illicit substances. So they dilated my pupils and they took pictures of the back of my eye. And then it turns out that they seen that the optic disc in my eye, not the optic nerve, the disc, was swollen and irritated. So they said that because of the symptoms I was having, like the headaches, the nausea, the blurring of the vision, the dizziness, all that stuff, they thought, okay, so they sent me to Ystrad Hospital. And then I had blood work done and I had a CT scan, which took 5 hours, 5 whole hours. I was in the waiting area of the same day emergency clinic. So 5 hours in the waiting area. My dad, mind him, bless him, took the day off work.
I needed my dad.
I needed my dad there. So my dad, bless him, had his arse fused to the waiting room chair. I went in and out of the like hospital bit. But do you know when you take bloods and they sit you in the blue chair? Well, it got to the point, I was in like 2 hours in the blue chair in the room with all these other people having their bloods done. And I thought, oh, I can't be doing this. So I just went out in the waiting area. So my arse was fused to a different blue chair for the rest of the remaining 3 hours. But I had the CT scan and they said that there wasn't anything wrong with the brain. I don't have a tumour, which was my main worry.
Yeah.
Because I did message Hannah crying the other night and said, what if I have a brain tumour?
Yeah.
And she said, well, that's not good for the podcast.
I know. I was like, that can't happen, sorry.
Yeah. So they had a CT scan. And anyway, I got a neurology appointment further along. But I come back from the appointment the day before yesterday. And then I thought, I'm having one of my headaches. So then I think it was because of the pupil dilation. It triggered because of the flashing lights as well. It triggered the headache.
I don't think like it was one of those headaches though, was it? You've never looked like that before.
No, I think it was 10 times worse, to the point where
Rachel
I was...
actually asked me if you had Bell's palsy.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's what they checked me for as well. They checked me for Bell palsy, and they checked me for, like, he said that, like, my reactions on my left side wasn't as neurologically balanced as the right, and that freaked me out. So I came home, and suddenly, like, I think it was like 2 hours after, I started feeling the headaches. Anyway, went to bed, didn't sleep, because of the headaches were getting so really bad. They got really bad. And then I woke up and I took a picture of what I looked like. I looked as though I'd had a stroke. And it freaked me out. But my eye was continuously watering, my face was swollen.
The eye, can I just say that the eye looked like as if it was like sort of going back into your head, but like this bit was like down. Like that.
Yeah.
It was like that. Like, it was really, really bad.
It was really bad.
Sorry for those of you listening, not watching, but it was really bad. And I'm not, I'm not taking the mic. I literally opened, I was like, wow, that is bad.
Mind you, this was Hannah's birthday. So
on my birthday,
yeah. So I was in so much agony that I was literally curled up on my mum's bed, crying my eyes out because I couldn't move my head without like it felt like stabbing pain, but also throbbing in my eye, and like I couldn't move my head, and then obviously I had the headache as well. So I was just a mess, to be honest. I was a mess yesterday. So. And then I had to take a bath.
She didn't come for coffee, basically. I didn't even ask because I didn't want her to feel bad that I didn't want you to feel bad that you weren't coming. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, I'm just not even going to say anything.
No, I couldn't have. And I had to take the day off work. So I've lost me a bit of money, so great. But yeah, no, it was just an utterly shocking day.
But I was messaging Ava when she was in the waiting room and like trying to have updates, but in the same breath I was like, been for an MRI. I was like, by the way, I've got an idea for this. Have you been for your CT scan? By the way, have you put this on Google Drive?
Yeah, I had the needle coming out of my arm with the blood, and she's messaging me. So have you managed to put this on the Google Drive? Have you managed to look at this? I think we should do this for the podcast. I think we should.
But I know your commitment. Do you know what I mean? I know that. Yeah. I know while you were sat in that waiting room, all you were thinking about was podcasts.
No, I was thinking, oh my god, what am I going to do if I have like a brain tumour now? I can't be. And all I thought was also if I have to wear an eye patch. Luckily, I'm on this side, so I'd have to just keep looking at you because I don't know if I could handle that. So on to lighter topics, but they might not be lighter, to be honest, because me and Han might argue over this. But let's play a game of He's a 10, but shall we? So
are you doing He's a 10?
Yes.
And I'm doing She's a 10?
Yes. Because
you like girls.
Because I am a lesbian and you are heterosexual.
Yes, I am straight. I've had to write some down because, I'll just stress otherwise.
So I'm just doing it as is. You know what I mean?
Ava is doing off cuff.
Off cuff, yeah, as Hannah loves to say, off the cuff. But yeah, I think
I got some really things that I got some cool sayings, haven't I?
Oh, just absolutely amazing.
One of my favourites is the chicken or the egg?
It's the chicken and the egg it is at the moment. It's the chicken and the egg. I know I've passed it on you 6 times, but it's actually the chicken and the egg. It's God.
Tell us your cringy sayings.
Yeah,
tell us your cringy sayings, because I don't want to feel on my own here, because Ava makes me feel as if I'm the only person in the world who comes out with this stuff.
I've never heard nobody else in my life has ever said to me.
I never know. Is it like an analogy or something? What is it called when it's like a little comparison? You know, I love doing that. I love being like, it's like the chicken and the egg.
Yeah, but nobody else in my life has
an
ever
analogy.
Said, it's a chicken and the egg, Eve. Nobody else. Nobody. Not a singular person who ever said chicken and the egg. It's not the chicken and the egg, though, is it? Because we're human beings, so it's not really chicken and the egg.
Yeah, but it's what comes first, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? What's more important?
Yeah, but you don't say it. You never say it in that context. Context. You just say it as in, oh, you know.
Can I just say
I can't really do that right now. It's just chicken and the egg at the moment. It's like...
Can I just say one more thing? And I feel really bad, but I'm a very honest person. So I'm like, I just need to tell you this. So when you were in hospital the other day...
What?
You know, I'm a bit sarky and that and whatnot. So I was telling my best friend, Roanne, I was telling her, my other best friend, I was telling her about your eyes, because Roanne actually suffers with the same thing, similar thing to what Ava is going through at the moment. And then I was walking into the gym and I was like, I said, yeah, well, she just needs to keep an eye on it. And I went, pardon the pun. Burst out laughing. Rowan literally just completely blanked it because she probably thought, what a bitch.
What a terrible person.
It's not the right time, Han, you know?
No. Your
yeah.
so-called sister is in hospital, struggling, and you're making jokes
Like,
about
it's
me.
probably something that she just really needs to keep an eye on. And I was like, oh, pardon the pun. Who's starting then?
You, since you wrote them down.
Okay. She's a 10. But she listens to musical theatre. It's going to be a minus.
No, I'm going to say it's an 8.
Get off! Look at the performance you used to do when I used to do musical theatre.
Yeah, I know, but...
Oh my... Right, Ava's got a crush on somebody now. And it's okay, because she listens to musical theatre.
No, I would say no, it's maybe like... Oh no, because I've got to share, like... It's bad enough sharing Spotify with you, to be honest.
I can hear the bells.
No.
I
would say it's probably like a 6.
Okay.
Gone down 4. Do you know what I mean?
Do you listen to any musical theatre?
No.
Have you ever seen Les Mis?
No. No. I'm not a musical theatre person.
Wow.
I don't know, I just don't... But I do like Disney films, so maybe that's... But I'm not like a big Disney fan, like, do you know what I mean?
Mm.
I just really like Moana. Make way, make
That's
way.
not musical theatre though.
Yeah,
Like,
I know,
it
but
is...
they sing in a movie.
Yeah, they sing, okay.
So-
But it's not musical theatre.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. My answer's not going to change when you say anything else. It's a 6.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so...
I was expecting lower, so...
Yeah. Do you know what? It's fair.
So that means I can sing musical theatre a lot more now.
No.
And play it in the car.
No. No. Okay, so he's a 10, but
Oh no.
he's abnormally hairy. Like, everywhere. Think like...
Because I'd quite like a little bit of hair.
No. Abnormally hairy is the is the question. Abnormally hairy.
Like 8.
Yeah. Okay, pretty much. But really hairy. Like, dark, thick hair.
Is it like dark, thick chest hair?
Oh. Curls as well.
Oh my god. It's gonna have... I don't know. It's gonna have to be like a 2.
Oh, it's ranking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't.
I can't deal with loads of hair. I don't mind a bit. I don't mind a little bit of chest hair and stuff like that, but not...
Like,
Because I
abnormally
like
thick.
dark, like Reese is really, you know, he's really dark and he got like a bob of curly hair when it grows, so I love all that, but I done like on his head. But I actually shave his chest and stuff for him.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
because he's really dark. But abnormally hairy, no, it's a no from me. It's a no from me. So it's a 2. I gotta be honest. And I don't really know why, because it's like, it is a very manly thing.
Yeah, but
do you know?
everywhere though.
But yeah,
like
no.
really long leg hair.
No.
Really long arm hair. Like the hair that goes up to the arm.
Yeah,
down to the hands,
I
do you know what
can't.
mean?
No.
Like toe hair.
No, that's way too far. It would be like a -2. Yeah, that's not for me.
Right, okay, go on then.
Yeah. Please probably wouldn't say the same for me at the moment, because I do. She's an 8. Can I say 8?
Yeah.
She's an
You
8.
can do any number, babe.
But she sends a 6-minute voice note and says, just a quick update.
Do you know what's really bad? I probably listened to it all, so she's still like an 8.
Would you actually?
Yeah. I listen to your 4-minute voice notes, don't I? And Rachel.
Yeah, but they miff you right off.
Yeah.
Like, you may as well just rang me.
Yeah, no. The thing with Hannah is she'll send like, so I'll listen to the first note, which might be like 2 minutes long, and then she'll send maybe like 6 in quick succession.
Basically, I would
which
say
are like 30 seconds long. That annoys me because I'm trying to reply to the first one,
Mm.
and then once I reply, you send another voice note, so then I can't
Yeah.
even reply to them all in order.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
So a 6-minute one is fine. If it's all in one,
Right.
like, is she sending it all in one? Do you see what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah, just
Like,
a quick
nothing
update.
else.
So, yeah, say like somebody was updating you on something.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, okay.
That's fine.
Ah,
That's
that surprised
an
me.
8. Yeah.
I feel like I'm saying these to test you on how, like, I am and how much you actually like me.
Well, I don't fancy you, so this is supposed to be about people you fancy, babe. So, you know what I mean? But no, you don't send... No, to be fair to you, the cut-off is 4 minutes. That's the longest one you've ever said.
When I see the 401, I'm like, wow, I better stop. Or I just ring her then anyway.
That's when you do that noisy, because then you either send the voice note or you ring me. Don't do both. So she'll send like 4-minute voice notes, and maybe a few 30-second ones, and then she'll ring me. So then before I even have chance, I'm like halfway through the first one, then she'll ring me, and she'll like, oh, I just thought we may as well just ring you in it. So then once we finish the phone call, then I go back and I listen to him again, and then none of the points she's rung me about, because she ends up telling me about like random stuff.
And yesterday's phone call was probably the worst one.
It was the worst we've ever had.
My boyfriend decided to ring me 3 times.
So she's ended the phone call with me. She didn't even put me on hold. She ended it. She ended the phone call.
I was pressing hold, though.
Well, you just ended it, though.
Yeah, it was ending, but it was pressing hold.
Well, you've rung me 4 times. But the first one, the first phone call, she FaceTimes me. She FaceTimes me, right? 20 seconds. She goes, Jesus Christ, what's happened to you, right? And then she goes, sorry, I'll ring you back. Like, she didn't ring me first. It's so annoying.
I did do that.
It's so annoying.
And then that was Reese. But then it was like, basically my boyfriend was getting me food because it was my birthday. So I was like, right, I better go. And then at the same time, my dog wanted to go out. So when I come back, I had like a full story to tell her about like my 20 minutes that had just happened.
FaceTime me, then waited half an hour to FaceTime me back. And then
she went, right, what's happening then?
Oh yeah, after the 20 minutes. I thought, oh, she better answer me now. And then 10 minutes later, you did FaceTime me. But then, yeah, it kept interrupting me, like, and then the worst bit was, right? So the end of the phone call, she still had more to tell me. And we tried to actually plan this podcast last night, right? And then, Reese comes up in this bloody, like, he looked like he was going to,
he's out. His little outfit. Do you look like he's going first day of school?
No, he looked like he was doing Boy Scouts. He looked with his shorts, like, you know, the long shorts, and the bloody
chino shorts.
The polo, with his bloody hat on. He comes in, he goes, hiya, Rafe. And I'm like, alright. And then he's like, do you want to end the phone call now? Because our food's getting cold. I'm not trying to be rude. And then I was like, yeah, go on, just take my hands, please. Go. So then she said, all right, I'll phone you back. Did I get a phone call? No, I didn't get a phone call.
I just messaged her saying, I think I want Botox.
So that was the end of the conversation. So really, what did that conversation...
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Literally nothing. She was there with her pen and paper trying to do notes for today. I might
jot some things down, like, do you know what I mean? And all I jotted down was yellow.
Never.
Yeah, that's it. That is it.
My brain sometimes, guys, like, Ave does struggle to keep up with what's going on in you, don't you? Like, I do feel for you.
You gotta dive in sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta, sometimes when she's having her thing.
She's having an episode.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta take yourself out of the situation and just get your mind to go somewhere else.
Dissociate.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll be in the car and I'll be either FaceTiming Hannah or I'll listen to her voice notes and my mum's like, turn it off. Oh, because I listen to your voice notes, don't I, in 1.5 speed, because the thing is with Hannah, she will just, and sometimes I'll skip where you start going into a rant about something random.
Wow.
Not because you'll be saying like, oh, I went to the gym today, my legs really hurt. I'm like, yeah, but you FaceTime, you messaged me to tell me about actually an important situation, and so I'll skip that bit and then I'll go on to it, and she's like, I can't listen to it anymore. We had a full-on row about it, mind, the other day. She's like, I can't listen to another word of you and Hannah talking to each other. You're always talking to each other. I can't listen to it. So I had to go outside. So he's a 2, but...
So basically he's not the best.
No, because he's a 2.
Right. I feel like it's a nasty game, guys. I find this really hard.
Yeah, but they're not real people.
Okay, fine.
Right, so he's a 2, but he's really good baker. Like, to the point where it's like, yeah, like, professional baker.
What, baker or chef?
No, baker, just baker. Like, to the point where he needs a cookbook.
I wanted to be a baker when I was little.
Right.
I think that just
That
literally
answered
goes
the question.
right up. Yeah, maybe
From a
that's
2.
gonna have to go. Yeah, it's like if he says I'm a baker, it's like, wow, you're an 8.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I think that's really nice.
2 to an 8.
I think that's nice, isn't it?
You've gone up 6 points just because you can make a cake.
Yeah, but you just said professional cake. Do you know what I mean? And it's probably going to be cheesecake, and it's probably going to be banana bread.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
You know?
Okay, I sympathise.
Yeah. She's a 10, but she says she's not hungry and then eats half your chips.
Fuck off. No, that's not it. No. Like, you're a 1. You're a 1.5, maybe. Because it's only half. Like, if she'd eaten all of them, then they would have... No, then she'd be a 1. But a 1.
Do you hate that if somebody says, like,
Yeah,
you're not
because I
hungry
hate
and then
I
steals your food?
hate it, because it's like, I'm willing to buy you what you want. Do not eat half of mine. I won't take mine. I've ordered it. I just don't understand that. I hate it.
Right. Tell us, are you somebody who does this? Or are you not? Because I thought women, it was a woman thing. That we
No.
say, oh, I don't want that.
No.
I'll just have a
have
little
it.
bit of yours.
No, because if you wanted what I have, order it yourself, love. I'm not paying just for that. Like, do you know what I mean? If you're really struggling for money, babe, I'll buy you what you want. Why are you talking like that?
She's really miffed about this one.
Because I don't understand it, though. Because it's like, what, I would never go, oh, I don't want that. I'll have some of yours, though. Because that's really cheeky.
Oh, that's me.
That's cheeky.
That is me.
I know. And that annoys me. I can't stand that. I can't stand it. Just
I'll have a little bit of yours. That's what I like. She's fuming about stuff like that.
No, because it never ends up being a little bit. It never does. It's like, do you want to share that drink, love? I don't really want all of it. And then it never ends up being equal, does it?
I'm terrible for stealing drinks. I'm terrible for stealing drinks and having a little bit. That is literally what I do.
Do you sometimes just go with your fork and just grab it?
No, I wouldn't do that.
No, because that's
I do this.
Oh, no, that's even worse. I'd rather you just get the fork out. I can't
I do like the eyes like that. Well, I'll go,
God, you know what? This podcast today has given me a real appreciation for Reese. I really sympathise with him right now.
He says exactly what you just said.
Just order it yourself then. Do you know what I mean?
He's like, I'm telling you now, I'm giving you the chance. Do you want one or don't you?
Do you know what really annoys me with stuff like that? It's like, my nan is the worst for this, right? My nan is the worst. Sorry, Nan. But I had a bag of, I don't know if you've ever been to the Black Lion, but you have like the salted, like spicy nuts in the thing.
With the Black Lion.
Oh, the Black Lion, there's one in Cardiff, there's one in
Wicklow. Oh, okay.
Like Black Lion is a pub,
right.
franchise. But they have like these spicy nuts, or like you can get them anywhere, and I love them. So I was like,
they like the coated ones?
Yeah.
Like the Nobby's nuts?
Yeah. It's like, Nan, do you want some of these? She's like, oh, no, it's okay. And then I had them, and we had a pint and that, and she was like, oh, can I just have one then? And I was like, yeah, go on then, have one. And then I literally turned my head, I'm talking with my cousin, she's there, and she's eating, and by the time I look back, there's 2 left. And I'm like, no, that's not on. Because they're like 50p for like a pot.
Yeah.
So I said, do you want one? No, it's okay. She did that on holiday once with my fudge. I bought, because we went to Spain, and then, I don't know if you've been to Spain supermarkets, right? But they have aisles of like sweets and that, and obviously, my little fat ass was absolutely in my element. So my dad managed to basically rack up some money on these sweets, right? And I put them in the freezer because it was really hot, so they wouldn't melt.
Ooh.
Anyway, and I must have been, I think I was 9. So we were in our own villa. It was lush. It was the best holiday I've ever been on. And anyway, I go into the freezer and think, I'll have a toffee, is it? Go in. They're gone. That's what's weird. They're gone.
They're fucking gone.
But I'm happy to share my food, though. Like, I'll share anything.
Yeah, you always share.
I always share. But my thing is if somebody says
you, no, yeah.
If I've asked you, do you want something? And if it's not like designed for sharing for all of us,
yeah.
And you decide, no, I don't want anything, and then you do it, then that annoys me.
Like if Reese has had like a little tiny like chocolate bar in the past, and then I'm like, and then he's like, oh, you know, do you want anything? No thanks. And he goes, right, this is your last chance now. Do you want anything?
Yes!
And I'm like, no thanks. And then when he has it, I'm like,
No,
and then
that's
he's like,
the worst.
but you know, you're gonna have a bite of this, and I'm gonna end up having half.
Yeah, that's not fair.
You know,
though.
and I get that.
That's
I do
not
get
fair.
that is unfair, but it's like I don't want a whole one.
Yeah, but you would have
You
eaten
know?
the whole one if you'd gotten the whole one, though. Or you could
No.
have had half of it when you bought it and then
Yeah,
had the other
I'd
half
have half
later.
and half, I guess. Yeah, I messaged Ava and I thought, yeah, I'm going to tell Ava that I've decided to go to therapy. And why are you smiling?
Because it's just something I told you to do for a while.
Yeah, to be fair, this time last year I think you said, you know, but I think like it's funny because even though I've always like sort of been around it, members of my family have gone to therapy and obviously, yeah, being like doing psychology and stuff like that, I've sort of always just thought, no, I'm fine, I can work it out for myself. So I've sort of tried a lot of different like coping mechanisms, and you know, I've tried meditation, I've done journaling, you know, but I think it's just time now, and I feel like after speaking and sort of after doing a bit of investigation, and obviously after speaking with Ava as well, which Ava will talk about now as well, I think that it's time that I go. And because it's not so much, I don't want anything where it's going to be where I need to go and do this exercise, you know, this week and have a little think about blah de blah de blah. I want to sort of just understand like myself, and maybe things that have happened and understand why, but I want to work that out for myself. It's that type of thing. It's like I'm not, you know, I can get up in the morning, I can journal, I can do things like that, you know, but I just need a little bit of an understanding, and maybe it will come to like a coping mechanism or like a coping strategy or just a better way of understanding, I want a different perspective. I want like, but then am I going to be the one who's working out that perspective? I don't know, but I think that I need to. And yeah, because it's not that I'm like, you know, I'm sort of fluctuating in mood, but I think that I'm putting a lot on my family. And I think that, you know, like you absolutely, I think your friends are a little bit more like, because you know, you sort of catch up with your friends, you know, and you're like, you know, you ring them. You know, I do see Ava as like a sister, so I'll ring her and I'll sort of like, we offload, you know, to each other, and like, and I don't know, and I think we do sort of try and help each other like work stuff out. And I think it's the same, you know, obviously with a partner, but I think sometimes when you're around that, when the people around you are around that all the time, and you're sort of like trying to sort of, I know, and they're hearing the same thing, or they like, you know, and you're sort of trying to work out things like with people around you. I think sometimes it's just, you know, your friends and your family can have like a bias like towards like how they feel about certain things, you know, certain things of the world, or you know, and like in their views and their opinions, whereas obviously when you go to therapy they don't give a view or an opinion like that, do they? It's like they're not, you know, you're not paying them for that really. It's yeah, I think it'll just be a little bit different to sort of, you know, because people always say like talk it out, don't they? But I think it's completely different when you're sort of talking it out with your friends and family to when you're going to be talking it out in therapy.
I think
you know?
it takes away like the guilt of offloading onto family members as well.
That's it. Yeah.
You don't want them to be part of the situation or whatever is going on.
Yeah.
When you speak to a therapist, you don't have the guilt of them being involved in something that you don't want your family members to be involved in, whether that's your own mental health, whether it's a situation, you know, whether it's anything really, but it does take that guilt, which can help you a lot as well.
Because I think like the last couple of weeks I'm sort of noticing that you know, especially over like the last couple of years, maybe a few things have happened to me that maybe I've sort of like suppressed and then haven't really like sort of not coped with, but maybe just sort of like, what's the word, when you maybe haven't accepted then that sort of certain things have happened, and then like suppressing that. But then I think I'm the type of person that I'll sort of like turn up every day like in front of people unless I feel like extremely comfortable with that person. Like I probably like just turn up with a smile on my face. And I think that's what people expect of me as well,
Mm.
you know, because I'm sort of like, oh, I'm Hannah, I'm happy, smiley, you know, and I'm like, nothing really affects me, and it doesn't matter. I'm just going to make you feel, you know, I didn't think that I was a people pleaser because I say no a lot now, and I've learned to do that. But I think I still people pleasing, sort of trying to make people feel like comfortable and make people feel okay, and you know, and
Yeah.
I sort of in doing that, I feel like I'm hurting myself really because I'm using that energy, which sometimes I haven't got to give, you know, and then by the end of the day, sometimes I'm like completely drained because I'm sort of putting on this smile when actually inside, like I'm trying to deal with a couple of things that are going on inside, you know.
Mm.
And like I talked last week about like putting that pressure on myself and sort of holding my value against what I do, you know, I'm like, why do I do that? And how am I going to sort of stop myself from doing that? You know, I think the first thing, like I have noticed I'm doing it, but I think now is like, yeah, like, you know, so many people go to therapy and
Yeah.
so many people say it helps. Some people say it doesn't, but I've only heard real positive things. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I have messaged somebody and sort of going to take that step. But I asked Ava about it because you've been through it yourself, haven't you? And
Yeah.
obviously a lot younger than
Yes.
what you know, I'm 32. I think, you know, you're literally like half my age, maybe less than that when you went to therapy for the first time.
I went to therapy for the first time when I was maybe 8, 9. I then went to a different counsellor then when I was 15.
So why do you think you were still going into, like, why do you think you were having
Because
therapy
nothing
then?
was
Like,
working.
were you suffering with like anxiety or depression or
So
anything like that?
I had severe anxiety and depression and suicidal thoughts. So I went to therapy for that. So yeah, I then went to another therapist then when I was 15, and I didn't like it because it was over the phone. And I stopped going to therapy then when I was 15, and then I started again when I left comprehensive school.
Right.
So in year 11. So yeah, then I went to a proper therapist. It was very expensive.
Yeah, I was thinking that when when I messaged this lady the other day, I was like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, I went to a therapist for about maybe like 8 months. I went to a therapist. And she, yeah, like hands down, yeah, she really, really, really helped me. So it was when I left school. I was still in school, and then I left school, and then I went to college, and she really helped me through that time because I'd like just lost my friends. Not, they weren't dead. I just lost friendship. I'd lost like some friendships and stuff, and I was just really depressed and just I wouldn't get out of bed, and yeah, so I went to her and she was amazing, and yeah, she sort of fixed my life really, and it just like
How
made
many
me.
sessions do you think you had with her?
I'd go like maybe once a week, and then towards the end it's once every 2 weeks, and then I stopped going.
Okay.
I did sort of ghost her. I didn't really need her anymore. But
They
like,
say that though with a therapist, don't they? That you feel as if like you need somebody, but then it's like a bit like a Nanny McPhee.
yeah,
Like when
and
you don't need them anymore,
they're
you
gone.
literally
Yeah,
just don't.
but I still have her phone number, and she said, you know, whenever ever you need me, just message me and I can book you in. But yeah, no, it was a great. It wasn't a great experience because obviously I was in therapy, but like she did sort of like she was harsh, but in the way that I needed. Because sometimes I do just need somebody to say, "You're being really dramatic now. Just shut up." Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you shouldn't say that, but it was that.
Like
So,
maybe like, did you say like, are you taking it out of context or something like that? You know, like
yeah,
that type
she
of
used to
thing.
say a lot that I was overthinking situations, and
Right.
I was. And then, yeah, but she was brilliant, to be honest. And I do recommend to anyone who thinks about it to go to therapy. It is really good. Like, go to a therapist though. Pay that bit of money, and yeah, like do it because it is a great thing to do. And like it just helped me in just life and like in my confidence and how I approach people and like thinking about other situations and how people view me and how people are viewing themselves in their situations and put myself in other people's shoes and stuff like that. And like I find that it's given me a lot better communication skills with how I connect with people.
Nice.
I'm not saying I'm great at it, but I think I do all right considering, you know, if you'd met me when I was like 14, you probably would have punched me, to be honest. But yeah, no, like she did teach me a lot. But yeah, I have been in counselling and like therapy since I was really young. I think sometimes it can be. I went to family therapy as well.
Well, with your family.
With my mum and dad, yeah.
Did you?
It was an absolute waste of time. Honest to God, absolute waste of time. Because they're not going to hold any accountability for themselves. I wasn't holding any accountability for what I was doing. Like, my dad didn't want to be there. Do you know what I mean? But, like, he did go. Fair enough for him.
He turned up.
He turned up, but it was absolutely... she was shite. And, like, she just mainly said that it was my fault. Everything was my fault. And it was just a waste of time, to be honest. And, like, with my family, like, we talk about things, and it's mainly not the talking thing that is our problem. It's that how we communicate with each other. So, like, it's not that we don't communicate. We like communicate enough. Do you know what I mean? To the point where maybe we should shut up. Do you know what I mean? But it wasn't needed necessarily, to be honest. So, I don't recommend family therapy. I think work on yourself before you try and intervene with other people.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, most family members aren't going to be perceptive.
Yeah, it's whether or not they're going to sort of...
It's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
So family therapy, I would say no. But therapy for yourself is really great. And it also, like, my therapist gave me a lot of perspective on the people in my life as well.
That's it, isn't it? They give you perspective.
Yeah, like, I've never
sort of how to think about things.
thought about stuff in
a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I recommend therapy to you, and I did tell you a while ago that you should do it. I think it will be really beneficial for you, especially with you and how your mind works and how, like, you feel about situations. I really do think you'll benefit from it. And I think you've got a lot of anxiety that you've never really addressed with anybody.
Yeah.
Like, and I think anxiety is probably one of the worst things to have, because it is just crippling.
Yeah.
And I think people don't really take it as seriously as they should. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to be in your own head and have those worries, and people just think, oh, why are you worrying about that? And it's like, well, I can't stop worrying about it.
Yeah.
So you telling me not to worry does jack shit, to be honest, because you're not in my head thinking about how I'm feeling, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think,
yeah, I'm definitely an overthinker, because you've just made a really good point, and I was thinking, I'm going to say something to that, but yeah, it's gone now. But yeah, I definitely agree with, like, the family thing, but also, like, you know, running your own business. Like, I think that, you know, because obviously you've got to, like, wear a hat, so many hats, and you've got people and, like, you know, sort of like not underneath you, but you're sort of controlling people in that sense. Do you know what I mean? And I think, and I think that caused me anxiety, and sort of having difficult conversations caused me anxiety. But I think I managed, that's what I was going to say, is that I think I try to manage myself. So then I'll get anxious if I haven't managed myself. And because, say, I, like, try and, like, manage things, you know, I'll get my 8 hours sleep, you know, and then I don't like, I go to the gym then. If I don't do those things, I then think, oh my God, I'm gonna have a panic attack. I'm gonna have a really bad anxiety, because it is crippling, like you say, you know, it is, and you feel like, I don't know, it's just horrible, isn't it? I literally went to Ava this time last year, and I said, I just moved out.
Oh yeah, that whole
time. It was before that. It was just as I was moving out, because I was 30, and I went into Ava, and I was like, but I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was like I'd sort of moved out. So, you know, we're in a bit of a cycle, obviously, you know, with the millennials who are, like, trying to, like, save for houses. Sorry, I'm just, like, sort of referring to my era. But and it's like I'm in that cycle of where you're trying to save for a house, but everything's so expensive, and, you know, and we just decided to rent. So we moved out, and I just had, like, complete sort of, I don't know what it was. I was waking up in the night. I was stressed as well with work.
Yeah.
And I think that I sort of was trying to, like, manage myself, but I just couldn't. I was finding it very, very difficult. And you know, I think having your own business, like, you sort of, like, you can't switch off. But then I was trying to sort of move house and sort of create a pattern, you know, with my partner as well, like a new routine. And I'm not very good at new routine. I'm not very good at, I am very much, and I know a lot of people are, like, a creature of habit, but, you know, it helps me, and it helps me cope. Like, you ask my father, and if, like, because my parents are divorced, we had certain days that we would go down my dad's house and to my mother's house, My dad was going to go. So there was, I don't even know if you were alive. So the Queen's Jubilee. No, I don't think you were.
But do you know what year?
Oh my God. Oh no, you might have been 2004, maybe.
Oh, I wasn't alive.
Okay, so you weren't alive. So yeah, so the Queen basically had a jubilee. Okay, so whatever, how many years that is, right? So my dad was going up to the Queen's Jubilee. He rang my mother and was like, "I want to take the kids to the Queen's Jubilee." Bearing in mind, like none of my friends were going. I was going to have a day off school, and Hugh, my brother, was like, "Yeah." So my older brother, we got the same mum and dad. He was like, "Yeah," like absolutely not even a thought about it. I had a complete meltdown because it was on
Is
the
this
day
like the
that my
horse
mother.
situation?
What do you mean?
Is this like the same sort of vibe as the whole horse situation?
Well, ish, yeah. But I had a complete meltdown because I was just because it was my mother's day. And
Oh,
so, yeah. So it was like a
very
Tuesday.
morbid.
Yeah. Very, very
Very.
spectrum. And I was just like, yeah. So I had a complete meltdown.
Like
And
hysterical crying?
oh, terrible. Yeah. I didn't go.
Yeah.
Because like my dad was just like, look, don't, it's fine, just leave it then. If it was a Wednesday, I would have gone because it was a Tuesday, and literally I was like 8 years old,
Yeah.
having these meltdowns, and I'm still like it a bit now. I know that like, I cancel, I chop and change, and I found that I've got better since having a business because you have to, but like there has to be consistency in my life, and and I think moving out and then sort of like having to adjust to sort of running a business and then like moving as well. I don't give myself that that's what I find hard, is that I don't give myself that like period to think like, okay, I've just made this life change, like, so it's okay to sort of focus on this a little minute, and then obviously get back into a new routine. So I felt like I was being strangled.
Oh yeah. Is
It
this
was
when you
bad.
came into the shop with me? Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
I'd opened that day,
Yeah.
and I'd opened the shop. Everything was fine. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't many customers. It was quite early in the morning, and Hannah walks in, and I can just immediately tell something's wrong. She walks in and she looks like drained. I mean, usually you looked pale, and I think that's what shocked me, because you don't usually look pale, but you looked pale and you looked ill, and I was like, "What's wrong?" And then you're like, "I feel like I've been strangled," and I was like, "Hang on now, has something happened? Has somebody mugged her? Like, what's going on?" And you just say, "I feel like I'm being strangled." And then she was like describing the symptoms. She's like, "I feel like this really bad weight in my chest. I think I'm having a heart attack. Like, my blood pressure's going up. I can't."
No, I thought that the oxygen stopped in my brain.
Yes, that's what she thought. She like died for a minute. And I was like,
I was walking around my house, like, with my hands around my neck,
Yeah.
like that, because, like, me and Reese were watching something on the telly, and all of a sudden I was just like, it's like as if, like, the oxygen just stopped for a while. It's like I forgot to breathe, but obviously that's what it was, isn't it? Like, it was it was anxiety, it was a panic attack, but it was just like I just stopped, but I'd never had that before, guys. I've had panic attacks where I felt like as if it's like sort of washed over me, and then I felt completely drained. After a festival or something like that, because like, you're tired and lack of sleep. Like usually that's when it comes on me. But oh my God, this was something else. And I was walking around my house saying to Reese, like, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die,
Yeah.
I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. And he was like, "Would you need me to take you to hospital?" And I was like, I don't know if I've just stopped breathing. I've just stopped breathing. Well, obviously, like I sort of came back down like after about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Went in the next day, and Ava was like, that was a panic attack.
That was a panic attack, babe. That's exactly what I said to you.
Yeah.
And you were like, "No, it's not. It's not. Something's wrong." And I was like, "No, it's a panic attack." Like that feeling. So I described everything that I've ever felt when I've had a panic attack, and like I have gone to the hospital for a panic attack. It was exactly what it was. And then I think that was when I said, "You need to go to therapy. Like you need to sort this out," because you were like, obviously you coped well in like business situations, but in your life, like you were just, I could just see you like losing it. And not because you done anything wrong or you weren't coping. It was because you were just so anxious and so. Hannah's really highly strung, and I've always said this to you since I first met you. She's very highly strung, and she always wants to achieve, and like I think she pushes herself to the point where it's like breaking. Do you know what I mean? And like every time I've seen you almost have like burnout, you've like managed to pull yourself back a little bit, but yeah, you push yourself to the point of burnout. But that day was shocking.
Yeah, I had a chat with Eve yesterday, and I was like,
It's
I
time
need
to
to
go.
Yeah. Definitely.
It is
I
time to go.
definitely need to go, because I'm not a depressive person, and like I don't mean that against anybody who is and suffers with depression. Is the absolute is the worst feeling in the world, and like it's so painful to watch people go through it. I am an anxious person and I'm highly strung, but like I'm not depressed. Like I'm not depressive, and like I'd say like the last 3 weeks I've been so emotional, and like a lot of questions have been coming up for me all the time, and I just think like I can't keep putting this on my family anymore. Like I need to go and speak to somebody about it, and just thank the Lord that like that is available to people, you know. And I'm very, very lucky that like I can afford to go, you know. Some people can't, and I can't even imagine what that's like. But yeah, I'm very lucky that I can do that. But
I'm actually very proud of you for going and for making that step forward, because lots of people just won't, and they'll ignore it until, you know, it breaks you. But I'm really proud of you for actually going.
Well, I just think like, you know, at the end of the day, I want this to, you know, whatever we're going to do now in the future, and like the things that we've got planned, and, you know that I'm always going to sort of like be health leather and like, and just, you know, put my foot to the gas with it. And like, she'll probably end up grey before her time because of me, but
I've already started going.
But like, I just need to be able to sort of be like, right, okay, this is it. This is what it is at the moment, and like it's okay that it's only in like a baby phase, you know, or like whatever. And like I just need a little bit of like, and obviously I need to offload instead of it being just my family all the time. But yeah, thanks for saying that. That's really nice. And hopefully, like wherever we end up doing, it will help us it will help me with that anyway, in sort of just managing myself, or like, you know, the situation or people or wherever else, you know, in wherever we end up doing. Which is going to be great, by the way.
It is going to be great. Well, I think that was really informative, and honestly, one of our greatest podcasts, I feel.
I know.
I think we're getting into the flow. We know where we're going. We hope like you guys like see what we're trying to do, and you know how much effort we put into this. But I think that was a great podcast. So to end,
well done to us. High five. I love doing things that just make you cringe.
I know.
It's like, that was a great podcast and now it was the worst. Okay, so my manifestation this week is I am becoming an unstoppable version of myself, and this is obviously to you guys as well. The version who is at peace and in full flow. So that's what I'm working on. Do you know what I mean? I'm working on the peace, having peace in the mind, but also being in total full flow of whatever we're going to be achieving in the next couple of months.
I love that. So I guess mine's similar. So mine is like to push for your goals and to strive to achieve them. So I want to strive to achieve all my goals that I set for myself. Like we've already spoken about this earlier today, but the goals that I personally achieve for myself, but also the goals that, you know, we want to do, and that we want to, I obviously want the podcast to make it, and I want everything else that we have in the pipeline to work. So, but yeah, I'm going to push for my goals, and I think I'm going to stick to my goals instead of just like fobbing them off like I usually do, to be honest. So I'm going to learn to drive, guys. I'm going to learn to drive. All right. Thank you so much for listening, guys. This was a really great episode, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, send in your comments or anything that we've talked about today.
Yes.
When I said send them in, please, because we want to start reading them out at the beginning of every episode, so that we can just sort of reflect on the last one, and then maybe just do like a 5-minute thing on at the beginning of every episode, and then that's cool. Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Bye.